people, and welcome to Real Chicks Rock presents Real Discussions. I am your host, Michelle Dawes-Bird, and as always, I'm super excited to be here. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, but it's hot. It's been hot for people all over the country. It is no different here in Atlanta. It is a balmy, probably 95 degrees. It is hot. We have not had rain. It's just like our grass is turning brown. It is a thing. So please stay hydrated. Make sure you have your water. Stay inside. Stay cool as much as you possibly can because this heat is relentless. So thank you. Thank you for all the new listeners that we have joining us today. For those new people, thank you so much for taking the time. Let me give you a little bit of background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about creatively collaborating, connecting, and raising awareness regarding issues that impact us women. Yes, that's what we do. And we do it by way of community service engagement, public speaking, mentoring, workshops, and the arts. We have been blessed to be doing this particular platform here, talking to wonderful people, subject matter experts, and alike since April 2016. So that's a couple of years that we've been doing it. We're so honored and grateful to be able to have this platform to talk to wonderful people. And today is no different. Today's topic is a conversation with Lady Alma. My guest today, Lady Alma. Yay! How are you, beautiful one?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Yes, it is a pleasure to have you. I know you are on the road. You just killed it last night in Charlotte, right?
Yes. Good times.
Yes, good times, good times. But we want to jump in and talk all about you. You were born in San Diego, but raised in Philly. Is that right?
That is correct. My father was in the service.
Is that right? So did you move around a lot, Alma, or no? Philly was always your mainstay.
Philly was always my mainstay. My mom and my dad didn't stay together too long where we would be moving around.
All right.
So, when they fizzled out, we went back to Philly.
Yeah. So tell me, what was the neighborhood like for you in Philly? What kind of music were you listening to at that time? You remember?
Absolutely. I remember being in a house where all types of music was being played, from rock music to gospel music. Jazz, all the genres. My grandmom was a music lover, and I think everybody in the house was, and they liked what they liked, which happened to be everything. Yeah. So I grew up listening and hearing a whole lot of things.
Did you have a favorite genre as a kid, Alma? Or you just liked it all?
I think at that time I really wasn't for sure about the different types. I just knew what felt good to me and what I liked, and that was pretty much it. I didn't, develop a taste for a specific type of music until I got older.
Okay. And so when did you know or realize you had a voice for singing? When did you know you could sing?
My mom had me singing ever since I was 3 years old.
Is that right?
She was in choirs. And she pretty much took me everywhere she went. Her motto was, if my child can't come, then I can't come.
You know what? I like your mom. I like your mom. Yeah, I like her. Because I do the same thing with my son. I take him every... I say, if it's not PG, we not going. We can't.
That's right.
That's awesome. So you got exposed to a lot of different type of settings and music and community, and just, you was already in the pocket. So was your mom also the mom that would have people come over and you would sing for the family? Were you doing that too at a young age?
A little bit.
Okay.
She used to live with her sister, and her sister used to have parties all the time. So at some point in time, when she wanted me to display my gift, she would call me down and have me sing a couple songs for her friends. And then she'd make her friends pay me. So it was like a twofold thing. She looked out for me, and it says, like, my mom was the first to give me my first couple of gigs, then you might as well say.
Awesome. That's all right. That's all right. Did you sing more, Lady Alma, when you were in high school, or did you join talent shows? How did people start to know that you had this voice outside of your mom and the family?
I didn't do too many talent shows, but I did a lot of singing in the church,
Okay.
which had me out singing as well. So people knew, you know, what I did when I was in the church, and that's how they kind of knew that I could sing. Not to mention my mom was always telling people I could sing
Right.
too. So.
Okay. So now you singing in the church, typically it's Christian or gospel music that you're singing. We singing about the Lord when we're in church. And so did mom have any objections when you wanted to start singing a little differently? How did that come about? How were you able to, you know, say, mom or family, listen, I feel something tugging at me. Might be an offer here for me to sing something else. How did that evolve for you?
Well, I went to school for music. I went to Girard Academic Music Program. So my mom, you know, her thing was, if this is something you like to do, I need for you to educate yourself. And reason why I'm telling the backstory first, because it kind of will support my answer.
Right.
And so she wanted me to know my craft. Moving to now, it pretty much found me. You know, I was already there, but we kind of found each other.
You remember the day when you found each other? You remember?
What'd you say?
Do you remember the day when you found each other, when music found you and you found it? You remember that day?
I was 3 years old. I was 3 years old when music found me. We fell in love maybe about high school age, though.
Okay.
I honestly, because I started learning about it theoretically, getting an understanding of what music is, where it came from, you know, the different genres and how each genre supported or came from the other. And that's pretty much.
I got you.
That's pretty much it.
So set us up for your first gig, right? You're in love with music, your first paid gig, if you will. You remember that day? What that was like?
I do remember that day. I wasn't Lady Alma at that time. I was in a collective group with King Britt, and the group was Silk 130.
Nice.
And our first professional gig was when we went on tour. So I started to get to learn, you know, about tour life and the music business when I started singing with King. So he kind of actually was my catapult to professionalism in music.
And you remember, how old were you roughly? What was your decade? Were you in your 20s, 30s?
Yeah, I'm gonna be telling my age, but I
then you don't have
like
to.
My mid-20s. No, my mid-20s.
Okay. No, because we want to respect you, Lady Alma, because we don't want anybody to think this is a fly-by-night. Like, you've paid your dues. Yes. You have been doing this and taking it from a grassroots perspective, right? Learning from other people and dealing with DJs and producers and just getting immersed. And so how long did you tour with King Britt? How long did that last for you?
It lasted a couple of years because there was some changing of the guards at Sony. King was signed to Sony.
Okay.
But, you know, he wasn't an artist, like in the sense of singing or anything. So he wanted to put this collective group together and formed the Silk 130. But we came from the club, Silk City, which is on 5th and Spring Garden.
Right.
And everybody that was a part of the band, we all frequent Silk City during the time of King Britt's days of spinning at Silk City. And so he kind of put people together that he knew each other. Because one of the things was he was trying to give or convey or even like put out that it was a family thing.
Yeah.
And we just, you know, like TLC, they were all put together, even though they appeared like they knew each other. They came all from separate places,
right?
Didn't know each other, and they grew.
Right.
We all knew each other.
Yeah.
So the only thing we could do from there is to grow together musically. Everybody that was a part of Silk 130 had their own thing going, with the exception of myself and my partner at the time by the name of Tansha Dixon. We were partners, but we weren't really doing anything like on the major level as when we got with Silk 130. We redid the remake of Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. So put us all together from us hanging out.
Yeah.
And here we are.
So that's awesome, because to be able to work with people, it does create a different dynamic, more of a space, a safe space, if you will, family feeling versus, I don't really know this person, but I got to work with this person, right? So it has a different kind of energy. Did you guys have an opportunity to tour not only the U.S., but of course Europe, right? Did you get to do some things in Europe?
We did not. We got as far as Canada. And just as the European tour was coming together, changing of the guards, that's what I want to come to now. It was the changing of the guards. The president at that time, Donnie Ina, he believed in Silk 130 and King Brick. But when the changing of the guards came, they were a little younger. They were more about, saving, because it was about 13 people in this band.
Wow.
And to take this band on the road, that
was a lot.
Very expensive. Very expensive. And so they couldn't understand the concept. And so King ultimately got dropped from the label. But everybody that was on that tour started blowing up. Being a musician and playing for, the likes of like Jill Scott and playing with, what's her name? Lord forgive me. The one that was with the Fugees.
Lauryn Hill.
Some of the musicians played for her.
Yeah.
Just played for a lot of people, and even some of the vocalists like Lady Diva Blue. She's a very, very renowned jazz artist.
Yes.
And Ursula Rucker, who at the time was not on tour with us because she was carrying, but all over everybody's stuff besides her own. And she's world renowned. And, myself and Jeff Bradshaw, who played the trombone.
Yes, we know Jeff Bradshaw.
130. He's headlining and doing his own thing now.
He is.
So a lot of us, Chuck Treese, a very accomplished musician and artist, and one of the first Black skateboarders to come out of Philadelphia.
Wow.
So everybody ended up doing really, really great things.
Awesome.
Once that happened, we were sad that, we couldn't continue on, but it helped and catapulted all of us in the spaces that we're in now.
And what happened for you? I mean, you continue to remain humble. You list everybody else in the band. What about you? After this happened, the changing of the guards, as you say, what happened for you? How did you pop off? What happened?
Well, for me, I ended up meeting a good friend of King's, who was one part of a group from England called For Hero. And he wanted to work with me. He would be my first person outside of King to work with, and my first time that I would be in England. And we recorded a tune called Hold It Down. And that was like one of the first songs to introduce me actually to the world. And it did very well. And so I started meeting more DJs that were also producers, and started writing and, producing with some of the said DJs that I'm still friends with today, and so just wrote. And then, of course, I'm not going to get ahead of myself because I know you'll probably ask me the question. However, I did a lot for a minute and then I had to stop.
Okay. And we'll talk about that. For Hero is awesome because the remixes, the music that they put out is just delicious. Very sexy,
Yes.
very saucy, very soulful, house-ish. Incredible work there. But yeah, let's talk about it. You were working with them for a while, and so then you stopped. What happened, Lady Alma? What happened there?
Well, life started lifing.
Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And the woman who I saw as a strong woman, my shero, the person that birthed me, she got sick.
Okay.
And she got sick to the point where she needed me.
Okay.
And so I had to take a break. 10 years. But I still continued to write, though.
Okay.
Didn't do too much traveling and a lot of shows because she was my first priority. And having COPD and having heart failure and having some other issues going on, she needed someone that really loved her.
Yes.
And cared for her and not just saw her as a patient.
Yes.
And so for a moment, God had to sit me down to do that.
Yes.
And, if I had to do it again, I would do it again.
You would do it again. Absolutely.
All over.
So as you were writing, were you writing for other people specifically?
No.
Or just writing because it was coming out of you?
I was just writing because I have friends that they believe in me, like the Mark the Clive Lows and the C Knowledges and so many that I have worked with. They believed in me, so they still wanted to do things and create music with me. I just couldn't get out and get into the studios with them, leave the country and work because, again, Carla was my main priority.
Yes, I understand.
Once I knew that my mother really needed me, I really had to put things in their perspective and put them in the priorities that they were supposed to be in.
Absolutely.
And so she was my first priority.
Absolutely.
Music is my life, but my mom was my first priority.
I get it. Absolutely. Because you've worked with so many different people, I want to get to the fact that you heard and listened to a lot of music as a kid, growing up with this beautiful mother named Carla, right?
Yeah.
Why house music? Because when you open up your mouth, Lady Alma, you can sing whatever you want. You could be jazz, you can be R&B, you can be gospel, but why house?
That's such a beautiful question to ask me. First, I was introduced to house while I was in college. And I liked how house made me feel.
Yeah.
I liked how when I wasn't dancing, I would just be engaged with watching people just be in the dance.
Yes.
And I've never witnessed discord and fights at house parties. And it's a level of, it makes me feel like church. My mom is a preacher.
Yeah.
And house made me feel like gospel. Now, don't get me wrong. I love gospel. However, I don't like feeling like I'm being like under a microscope. Like when you're talking about God, I tell you, everybody will come at you if you do anything that is not of a godly nature.
Right. That is correct.
So they forget that you're human. A lot of people don't see gospel artists. They see them as there's some supernatural being. And in actuality, they're just humans. And they make mistakes and they do things wrong sometimes. They're not perfect. And so for me, I felt like if I had to win in that direction, it would have been too much pressure for me.
Okay.
However, with house music, though, I can speak of any subject and don't feel convicted about whatever subject I'm speaking of, but still I could play every song for my mother, who was a preacher.
Yes. Yes.
So I wanted to be in an area where when I was excited about a song I finished recording, that I could come and play it for my mom. And I said, well, Mom, excuse me for this line coming up or that line coming up. I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And she liked it because it had that beat.
Yeah.
I just like how house makes me feel. House does a different feeling to me than R&B or jazz or rock music or, you know, calypso or something else. It's just different. It's almost like house is God's language for the person that don't go to church. But get it. And they got a little reverence for the creator as well. Because like, I'm not a preacher or anything, but I just know that it just does my heart.
Yeah, I can see
Makes
it.
my heart feel really good.
I can
like
see
every house track I hear, whether it's instrumental or someone is singing on it, it gives me that good feeling.
Yeah.
And now I'm speaking of house, not EDM.
Come on.
But house music.
Come on. Tell them, Lady Alma. Come on.
Because EDM is a little bit different.
It's a little different.
Dance music.
It's a little different.
I need that soul, and I need that something that I can tap into. That once I tap into that, I'm able to tap into the audience.
Yes. You said so many gems in that. And I just want to add a little too, because you're absolutely right. House music found me in college, right? Born and raised in the Bronx, Jamaican parents. So I grew up with the birth of hip hop. And so to think about listening to anything else, the peer pressure from the neighborhood was not having it. And so when I went to college in Jersey, I would come home to Paradise Garage and I would go and party in Zanzibar more because financially it just made sense. I take Route 1 and 9, go right to Zanzibar, party, see CC Rogers, see all the people, like everybody. And then when I had a little bit more money and came home for the holidays, I go to the garage. But it was also a genre of music, Lady Alma, that made us, even those that believed in God, even if, you know, feel like we could still have fun, right? In a safe space that wasn't perverted and didn't have all these different type of energies or peer pressures, or we would feel like we were doing some things that we shouldn't be doing. It just was a space that if you were a dancer and you loved music and you were good there, and then you could hear the music and it, like you said, it just touched your heart and it touched your soul, and you're smiling for like days after. I would go out Saturday night and Wednesday, I'm still smiling from the night I had, because I had such a good time, and we're sweating and we're changing our shirts and clothes because we, you know, it was definitely a movement. It was almost unexplainable, but now here we are in 2023 and we're still talking about it. I want to ask you, Lady Alma, because of your experience in the business, do you feel, has it changed house music, or does it have a resurgence, especially coming out of COVID? What are your thoughts?
That's a good question. I gotta think about that just a little bit.
Okay.
I don't think it changed.
Okay.
But I have to say this. Shout out to Beyonce and Drake.
Okay.
And I say it because they got people talking about house.
They
now.
They do.
Was it the best house to use as an example?
Yeah, I know. I know.
However,
Right.
it's more young people now that are getting on board.
That is true.
It's more people that are learning to embrace it.
That's true.
And so I have to shout those two out, because prior to them doing their songs, only the heads.
Only the heads. Yes.
Everybody knows Follow Me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Everybody.
Everybody.
From the classical music artists to the country music artists.
Yes.
They all know Follow Me. Shout out to Elias, for doing that tune.
Mm-hmm.
However, Beyonce and Drake got folks talking.
Mm-hmm.
Folks that normally wouldn't be talking about house.
True.
They're talking about
asking
house.
The question.
And embracing it now. Like they can't understand why took them so long to get on board.
Yeah.
So in the sense, I do believe a little bit it's changed from, us being in the pandemic and stuff of that nature, because we were all in, and you had all these wonderful DJs getting on platforms like Twitch and Instagram Live and spinning this great music. Keeping us sane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And
then Beyonce and them come out.
Yeah, and they do their
pandemic,
thing.
And one of the first musics they choose to create some new stuff on is house.
Is
music.
house.
I was excited. Super excited. Because I said, oh, it's hope for me.
It's hope.
It's hope now. Like my heads won't be the only ones that know about it. Although the heads like to be the only ones to know about it, because they feel like they got something up on it.
I know.
You know?
I know.
But I think it's changed a little bit, but it's changed for the good.
Yeah. It's a lot of different things there, a lot of gems in that response too. Yes, to Beyonce and Drake, even DJs like Khaled and things like that, changing their perspective of it because they thought of it or looked at it as disco. They didn't realize the energy that it had and it brought. Shouts out to Diddy, who put Black Coffee on years ago too. Like he was like, what? I didn't, so that opened up a can of worms. A can of opportunities for Black Coffee, just traveling and being in different spaces too. I want to also accredit social media platforms, right? Because and the memes and the GIFs and the TikTokers and all of this stuff that are using are the classics, right? So now everybody knows deep inside. Shouts out to Barbara Tucker, who I just spoke to a month ago, right? Right. The beautiful woman. I had a conversation with her, and so my producer, who is half my age, right, was like, I heard that song. I know that song.
And we gotta shout Kanye West out for that because he was the one that had it sampled in his keyboard.
Yes.
And when he had his choir, you remember with the choir? And they was doing something with Deep Down Inside. So I'm excited about it all because you got Top 40 talking about it.
I know that's right. And then
Drake bought Superman. So Drake owns the rights to Superman.
Are you serious? I didn't know that. And we learned today. I know that's right. Yes, we're learning today. I want to also shout out a former guest of mine, Terry Hunter. Because,
my brother Terry Hunter.
Yes.
Shout him out in the chosen few.
Yes, we love him. We love him. Right. They just had an awesome festival. Yeah. Shouts out to all of the chosen few DJs. I've gone a couple of years. I didn't make it this year, but they are also doing great work. And I know you've worked with Terry, but Terry touched that Beyonce song, played it last year, and the crowd went crazy.
Got nominated for a Grammy.
Yes, he did.
That was a big accomplishment.
That was huge.
He might not have brought the Grammy home, but he brought home something better.
Yes, he did.
And that was, now people know who Terry Hunter is.
Even more.
And because they know about Terry Hunter, now people are trying and learning to see and learn who David Morales is and who Mark Francis is and who David Harness is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because of that. So shout out to Terry.
I know.
And you know what? There's another little tidbit that people need to know. That House is the daughter of Disco.
Yes, it is. Yes,
that's
it is.
Disco's daughter.
Yes. Yes.
So when she passed away, rest in peace, Disco. I love my Donna Summer. Shout out to the late great Donna Summer.
Yeah.
Here comes house.
Here comes house music.
But we thank God for the two godfathers, Larry Levan and Frankie Knuckles.
I had the opportunity, Lady Alma, to do, because as you know, as I said in the intro, Real Chicks Rock is all about community and giving back. So I had the opportunity to work with the Women's House Music Collective, which is Jay Honey. And you know that beautiful young lady.
Boo.
Yes. And she told me to tell you how. So she celebrated her 2nd anniversary. I had the opportunity to be a partner and help her with that. And so the concept was giving back to the community and teaching people how to DJ and teaching people how to dance. And it was a beautiful afternoon. And one of the DJs played Frankie Knuckles, the whistle song, and we kind of lost it a little bit. The older ones lost it because it felt so good in our soul. We're smiling. We love to hear that song, and it just takes us back to a place, and Lady Alma, some of the songs that you have, if not all of them, takes people to a certain place, right? You went viral with 30 million people because of this young man in Africa singing with everything in him the words to your song. How did that make you feel? I know you have tears. You look like you tearing up right now just thinking about that blessing. Share with us how that makes you feel.
Oh, man, it was something else because that was literally right after my mom passed.
Oh, my goodness.
So I like to say that my mom was instrumental and all of that. The DJ didn't know Nlaka, that's his name. The DJ's name is the General DeCock. Nlaka and myself, none of us knew each other at all. It wasn't planned. This wasn't scheduled. No. And I just feel like my mom had something to do with it. First of all, I wrote the song over 13 years ago.
Wow.
I wrote it because I was placed with a decision to have to step away from the business to take care of my mom. And that song was one of the last songs that I recorded out personally. I was with David because he's a very good friend of mine, David Harness.
Yes.
We were chit-chatting prior to me writing that song. And I was bawling my eyeballs out. And not so much because I was going to have to take a break, but because the uncertainties that I had about having to take care of her. Like, I just never wanted her to pass away on my watch.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to pass away on my watch. And so we were talking about this. And I just began to cry. I couldn't hold it as no longer. And the engineer, Chris Lum, actually, he just turned around and he said, listen, use that. How you're feeling. He said, you're breaking my heart right now. Use that to write this song. And I just happened to say, when it rains, it freaking pours.
And that's it. And there we go. A classic. And we feel it.
It's something else.
We feel it. Sometimes if there's any rain, if we're outside in an event, they'll play it. We're in the club scene, they'll play it. And people are singing from their toes, because they know that song has helped them. They could be in a situation right now. We talked about it, right? House music is like church, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a sense of freedom when they hear it. They tear up, they cry. And it's not that they want to be consoled. They just want the music to sing to them.
Yeah.
And they get it out that way. And it is like a reconnection with the Most High, or
Yes.
in what you believe in, that source, that power. It connects you with that. And it gives you a sense of hope. So you give us hope in that song. You do. And to see that somebody we don't know, we're not connected with, again, shouts out to social media, because it was shared and shared and shared and shared and shared. And
to this day,
yes.
while you and I are speaking right now,
yes,
somebody is sharing that video.
Right now. Let it rain, let it pour, let it go. Listen, phenomenal stuff. You've worked with some great people. You talked about David Harness. We talked about Terry Hunter. Work with Kenny Bobian. Do you like to write more than sing? Where's your love? What's your love language, Lady Alma? Is it both?
Both.
It's both. Writing and singing.
I never had the opportunity to write for others because I'm a bit selfish.
Okay. All right.
And why I say that is I changed. And I'll tell you why. I would write from my perspective. I would write what affects me. But some of the things that affected me affect other people as well.
Right.
Maybe not the exact subject of it, but something be affecting them the same way it affects me. You know, so I haven't never wrote for someone else, because you had asked me that question and I didn't answer it. I feel like they're not going to interpret.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't like to be the person to do like a example track or sample track, because I want the individual to put themselves in the song. But I'm also critical.
Yeah.
I'm critical of myself.
Yeah.
I'm very critical of myself. So if I'm super critical of myself, I'm going to be extra critical of everybody else. Which is why I don't write for others.
People.
However, I'm open to it, especially if I'm able to write with the individual in the studio with me.
Yeah.
Because we get to commune a little bit. We have a conversation a little bit. I can kind of understand where they're coming from and kind of tailor make the song for them. I have that ability. But it's both that I get my joy, because I write it.
And then you get to
and when you're able to write and tell the story.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
No one can misconstrue
Yeah.
what it's all about, because I'm the writer of it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what this is about.
Yeah.
So it's face value.
Yeah.
I have my love language are both.
I got you. I got you. So many writers, when I think of, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking of Stevie Wonder and Prince and even Quincy Jones and you know, those types of people, when they did write a song, they knew it wasn't for them to sing it, but they did put in their mind who they would like to see that, you know, sing that song. So you have a totally different perspective. I get it, because it's storytelling. It is storytelling. And to really hit home, it has to be sung a certain way, delivered a certain way, certain empathy, certain passion, even certain movement on the stage when you're singing it, right? So to get the people engaged and involved. So I get it. I totally respect that. 100%. You, like I said, you work with so many producers, but what I find interesting is that you're doing some work with Marley Marl. Is that? Is that correct, Lady Alma? That is. Now, we talked about hip hop. It's 50 years. Marley Marl goes way back with Biz Markie, Big Daddy Kane, you know, with the symphony
Mr.
way
Magic.
back. Yeah, Mr. Magic and all that. And so how did your paths cross? How do you guys know each other? Look at that smile.
His manager knows my manager.
Okay. All right. There we go.
And he just actually, you know, said to his manager, I really want to work with her.
Yeah.
And so when he said that, his Troy, that's his manager. He said, I'll call her right now.
Yeah.
Of course, he called Tone because him and Tone are the friends.
Right.
And so he called Tone and he said, Tone, Marley want to work with Alma. And I am a product of hip hop.
All right.
I'm a child of hip hop. So, you know, the symphony and all of those other songs that he created with Shan and, you know, other artists. I grew up, so it was like, I thought everybody was lying and pulling my chain.
Right.
I really thought when Tone came to me and he said, Marley wants to work with you. And I'm like, stop playing.
Yeah, right.
First of all, Marley don't even know who I am. And shut me all the way up because Marley spins my music. Marley is a house DJ. That's what a lot of people do not know, that was his first love. At 14 and 15, when his brother would tell him, don't be using my turntables, don't be getting on my turntables. When they leave, he would be on the turntables and house music because he hung with people out in Jersey and in North Jersey.
Yeah.
That was something that was a product of him.
Wow.
He came from house. And, you know, it was magic that swayed him to get into hip hop. He said he would have probably been a house DJ from the gate. But, you know, he also was a genius on that beat machine.
Wasn't he? Yeah, and still is. Teaching others. So Marley Marl could have been in the ranks of longtime house DJ like Louis Vega.
And Kenny Dope.
And all that. Wow.
Joe Claussell.
Yes. Ooh, you talking dirty on a Sunday.
Lande,
yeah, you talking dirty on a Sunday. You talking dirty. Yes.
He
yes,
really
I love
could have, but he's doing it now.
Yes.
He still, of course, he spins his hip hop because, you know, that is what he's known for.
Yeah.
But I also want people to know that he is also known for spinning house, and he creates house, and he takes some of like some old classic R&B, like your Michael Jacksons and your After Sevens, and he'll put house beats under their stuff. Creates a whole new vibe for the song. Make the song come back to life. Make people who forgot about the song make it relevant again. Like he has that power and genius in him. So when I was told he wanted to work with me, first thing, I fanned out for 5 seconds. Because the next thing was, well, it better be some good house. He could forget working with me.
Yeah.
He sent the trash.
Yes.
And Kenny Bobian was singing on the chorus part.
That was it.
Which the song is entitled Joy, in parentheses, Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And
I
haven't looked back. I loved him before I met him. I super, super, super love him even more now because we have allowed each other to be in each other's space. And he's a wonderful dude. Like, if you ever get the opportunity to meet him, just being in his presence, is just an honor, and it feels good. And he is such a sweetheart, a beautiful person inwardly first, and it then comes out the way he opened up his home to me, and the way he, opened up his heart to me. Like, that's my brother. Like, I'll fight for him. You say something bad about him, you had to deal with me.
Yeah, you gonna have problems.
Forever.
I hear you.
For life.
That's beautiful. Do you feel, Lady Alma, the same type of sensation when you travel abroad? Like when you go to other countries, are they just going bananas to hear you sing? Hey, look at your face. Look at your face. Yeah. Yeah. They love you. They eat you up. They don't want to let you go. Cause I see.
wonder who they screaming and hollering
Yeah, they
about.
screaming at you. Cause I just seen your sister, my friend Julie McKnight, former guest on the show. She went over there and they ate her alive. She was just so filled with the love and response.
That's my cousin.
See that?
Julie is my cousin.
Oh, the circles are so small. Look at that. You come from good
And
stuff.
I found that out through another family member. He called, my cousin Tommy called me and he said, hey, you ever heard this artist by the name of Julie McKnight? Now, I know Diamond Life,
Yeah.
but I did not know the two was a part of each other.
Right, right.
That's the first thing. Then the second thing was after I found out who sung Diamond Life,
Yeah.
I then find out that she is my cousin.
Shouts out to your beautiful cousin, Julie McKnight.
Shout out to my beautiful cousin,
She's
Julie.
beautiful
McKnight.
inside and out.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
So do they eat you up like that when you go to Europe? Yeah. They can't get
They
enough.
sing the songs. I look out and I see people crying,
Yeah.
engaging with me.
Uh-huh.
Just being really good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been very fortunate and blessed.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunate and blessed
Mm-hmm.
that everywhere I have gone, I have not had a bad situation.
That's awesome.
I haven't had a bad reaction
Mm-hmm.
or anything. And, I attribute it again to my ancestor.
Mm-hmm.
I attribute it to God.
Mm-hmm.
I attribute it to me.
Mm-hmm.
For because this is where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing faces and seeing how it the music that I am producing and collaborating with others to create is having an impact on people.
Yes. Yes.
It's important to me.
It is.
That my people are happy or feeling differently from how they came in.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they came in and they a little off, I like to change that. If they mad, I like to change it.
Mm-hmm.
If they happy, I like to take them up some more. That is just, I am your public servant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to serve you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my joy. I get joy when you guys have joy.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all not happy, I'm not happy. It starts with you guys first.
Yeah.
First and foremost. And a lot of artists tend to take their audiences and people for granted.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't buy your works, if they don't stream your stuff, if they don't, come to your shows, you're not going to be nobody but with a gift.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
For yourself.
Wow. That's true. That's true. That is true. Lady Alma, is there somebody you would like to work with that you have not worked with yet? Oh, so she's smiling. Who? Give me a couple of names.
It's a long list.
It's a long list. Wow. Give me just a few. One or two.
And all of them are not house. I want to work with Michael Bublé, but I'd like to move him over to the house work.
I heard that.
I'd like to do a house track with Michael Bublé.
Wow.
And he come to me. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is be in the same genre with me.
Yes.
I don't want to do a jazz classic with him. I don't want to do a R&B. I want him to come over to the house.
Michael Bublé. That'd be interesting because he has a nice voice. And I like him in the genre in how he pays homage to the classic jazz, like the Sinatras and the, Tony Bennett's and the different people, but he does have a good voice. So that would be interesting to pull him over and see how that would work out. Anybody
I want to
else?
work with Harry Connick Jr.
Another one, yeah. He's good too. Wow.
I want to work with the godmother of house, Barbara Tucker.
Yeah.
I want to work with Dawn Tolman.
You haven't worked with these beautiful women, all guests on my show. Beautiful women, but we got to make this happen. We gotta
I wanna
close
work
this
with those
gap.
ladies. Yeah,
All
I want
right.
to work with them.
It's a done
I
deal.
have the desire. I want to work with Thundercat, and I want to have an opportunity to work with Tyler, the Creator. And I would like to work with Anderson Paak.
Yes.
I think that young man is so talented.
He is. He is.
And even though he's boisterous, he's also humble.
Yeah.
I see humility in him. And I am so attracted to his music that I'm attracted to the thought of working with him.
It's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Yeah. It's gonna happen.
I believe it.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the ladies, with Barbara Tucker and Dawn Tolman. Yeah,
Oh, I believe that. That's
gonna
a
happen.
done deal. I
Yeah, that's
just
a done. Yeah,
had to speak it.
Yeah.
I had to speak it. But I have a great desire. Dawn Tolman sings
I know.
with the conviction and anointing that it takes the anointing
Yeah,
to do what she does.
yeah, yeah.
Barbara, Miss Tucker. That's it.
Another one.
I don't have to say anything. I just say Barbara Tucker.
Yeah.
That says a whole lot of stuff.
That's it.
And that woman is a beautiful here.
Yes.
Now, I always go by how you look on the outside, because you could be beautiful and be crappy
on the inside.
But as beautiful as she is on the outside, I know she's just as beautiful on the inside. And every time she opens her mouth, she sends chills.
Wow.
Chills up my spine. I get almost clapped at times when she's singing. And Jocelyn Brown, too. She has a song called Lord, I Want to Thank You.
Yes.
And at the end, there's a prayer that she does. She just rips me all up. I'll be in tears by the end of her song, because these women are great women.
Yeah. That's another one of my favorites.
Not celebrated and appreciated as they should be.
Yeah.
And so if I got anything to do with it, I'm always speak their names out of my mouth.
Absolutely.
Like I don't discredit my CC and my Robin S. I don't discredit them, because I love them too. But Barbara Tucker.
I know. She's gorgeous inside and out, and talented and humble and sweet. And
want everybody to win.
Yep, all the time. Isn't that something? Yeah, we gonna make it happen. It's gonna happen. Even if I gotta throw my little 2 cents in there.
Well, I believe it.
If I gotta connect the dots,
I'm ready for it.
I know you are. You busy, beautiful, blessed person. What's your next city? You got a list of places you going, aren't you busy?
I'm gonna be in South Jersey for a little bit. I'm doing on the 11th. August 11th, I'll be in Brooklyn at the Leo's party. The 19th, I'll be in Jersey at the Salem County Fairgrounds, doing an all things music festival with After Seven, War, The Average White Band. My friends and brother in music, his group is called UGO. That's Urban Guerrilla Orchestra. And a plethora of other artists. And I'm going to be representing for the house.
I know that's right. Where can the people find you, Lady Alma, on your social media handles and everything else? Yes.
And before I also got to mention on the 20th.
Yes.
I will be in New York with DJ Spinner and DJ Kenny Dope on a boat, baby.
Yes.
He's going to sail on the Hudson or whatever that body of water is out there. And we're going to house them folks. I just pray for me, because I don't want the boat to be sinking. Or none of that.
Not going to happen.
Stop, they stop that stop. I don't want none of that.
None of that.
So everybody, if you're listening right now, on August the 20th, do me a little favor And just say a little prayer for your
Sure
girl while
will.
she's on the boat.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome because you're going to be up and down and looking at the Statue of Liberty and the New York skyline. It's going to be gorgeous. That's going to be
Absolutely.
nice. And DJ Spinner's a great guy. He's a nice guy. He's a sweetheart to be working with. And Kenny Dope is good at what he does. So you're in great hands.
Yes, absolutely I am.
You are in wonderful hands. That's awesome. So you're already August is already pegged out.
Right.
It's already filled out. Man.
Yes.
You're a busy lady.
We're taking the show overseas in September.
Nice.
I'll be in Paris on the 15th. I'll be in London on the 20th and Manchester on the 21st of September.
Look at that.
And we're presenting our Give Me That Music live PA, not the concert series, because when it's the concert series, I'm with my band Vertical Current. But I'm going to be with my brother in music, DJ Marley Marl. Omar is going to be on the bill. And the flow assist of Flowetry will be hosting and doing a little something too. And I got DJ Barry King and DJ Fitzroy on the ones and twos, along with my brother Marley Marl.
Oh my gosh.
Something.
That's going to be heavy. Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah. Rub those little hands. You see how God has rewarded you because you made your mother a priority. It's like you haven't missed a beat. He is doubling you.
How about that?
And everything that you thought, and you might not even gave it any thought because you're a humble servant of him and you honored your mother, which is the first thing it says. We're supposed to honor our parents, right? And so
honor our mother and father so that our days.
Yes, right.
Long on this earth.
That is correct. And so I want to I'm grateful that God has allowed you to be blessed and we can witness that and everything that you're doing. How can people find you on social media?
Well, it's quite simple. On my website is www.theladyalma.com. And then on the social media platforms like Twitter, or their X now, Instagram, Facebook, or wherever else, it's The Lady Alma.
Just so simple and beautiful. This was a pleasure.
It really was.
It was.
Thank you so much.
I learned some things. I got to talk to Lady. Just so excited. This was so good. I want to wish you nothing but continued success in everything that you do. And we as a house head and just being in community, thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a beautiful representation of the music we love so much. We love it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
For having this platform and giving artists a space to, tell the people about themselves. So we want to say thank you to you, Miss Michelle Dalsberg, for Real Chicks Rock.
Thank you.
And we want to thank your awesome camera guy who is helping to assist you, who is keeping you held up because it takes more than just one person to fulfill the idea. You have to have a village to help you. So we want to thank everybody that helps you.
Thank you.
With your platform. We thank you. And we thank everybody. Well, I thank everybody for, just supporting you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lady Alma. It's been a pleasure. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's my time. We got to go. But you know what? Real Chicks Rock, we are everywhere. We are on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We got a website, realchicksrock.com. Go cop a t-shirt. You know you need it. You need to have it on your back. But before I go, I always want to leave with one of my favorites. I loved him so much as a kid listening to him. The awesome, memorable Frankie Crocker. He used to say on WBLS 107.5 in New York, he would say, may you live to be 100 and I live to be 100 minus a day. So I never knew that beautiful people like you had passed away. Thank you for checking out Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next show.